Diaz, you summoned up your inner Nunez. Vigets, hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome back. Hope y'all are doing well. Liverpool versus Man City. First of all, bravo to both teams. Thank you so much for the neutrals. Although I am a little bit biased because I wanted Liverpool to win and not Man City in this game. But for all the neutrals, this was a beautiful game. This was a great game for both Liverpool fans and Man City fans. Hands down, an amazing match. So much happened, so much excitement. And as much as Liverpool fans want to say, and even neutrals, and I think some Man City fans would agree that I don't like to use the term outplayed or unplayable. They did perform better overall than Man City, but Man City could have won this. And Man City started off this game really, really well and scary well. Every single time De Bruyne had the ball, I was gripping the seat. I was nervous. There was this tension in my stomach. Stop giving them the ball. And that's what Liverpool were doing a lot in the first half, just gifting them the ball. It took them a good while. I don't know how long in that first half to actually start playing their game, start looking like they're playing at home. Because it was just constantly giving them the ball. I'm not saying they were losing ball, but just like anytime, I mean, they're inexperienced, right? They're inexperienced. They haven't played that many matches. I think it's even their first match, at least starting for Kwanzaa and Bradley. Just anytime they would try to clear out the ball, it was just constantly giving it to the half field, not even to their final third. So they could start from there, the midfield, and just starting all over again. And that attack, I mean, the way they were just carrying that ball, breaking through the line. Foden and De Bruyne were pretty good in this game, especially in that first half. And De Bruyne with that strike early on, I thought that was going in. I said, great, this is going to be a 1-0. And then from then on, so early on, a 1-0, they're going to start scoring 2-3-0, and that's it. That's going to be it. And City are capable of that. Let's not lie to ourselves. City are so capable of doing that. They score one goal. If they would have scored in the beginning, this game pretty much was going to be wrapped up in the first half with Man City. And I wouldn't have seen Liverpool come back after that. Maybe they would have scored a goal, but this would have been, again, yet another victory for the almighty City. And thankfully we didn't get that. Thankfully, I mean, Liverpool did a really good job at stopping them. Like I was saying, Bradley and Kwanzaa, I thought they had an overall good game. It was just like the clearing, the rushing. They were rushing too much in giving the ball away, and we're just gifting pretty much the ball to them because they were just, I get it, the tension, the atmosphere. What was it, the most crowded stadium since 1920, 30 something, 36 or something like that, they said. I understand the tension mounting up, the pressure mounting up. You know, this is one of the biggest games that you've played up until this point. So I get that, but was it making me nervous. I was stressing, and little times do I actually stress when I'm watching any of these games. I'm just watching it just to be entertained. But today I was struggling. I was struggling just seeing them give the ball. And De Bruyne, like I said, every single time he was getting that ball. Foden, every single time he was getting on the ball. Something. They were cooking up something. Something was going to happen. And City, every single time they had the ball, it reminded me, it was reminiscent of old Barca. Every single time that they had the ball. Although I don't think Barca had that many boos and whistles back in the day. I think the away team wanted to watch them just as much as they wanted to watch their home team. But they were unaffected. They didn't care. They kept playing their game. I've never seen that, or it's been a long time, like I said, Barca days, that I've seen something like that. And they just played unaffected. The booing and the whistling, I mean, you can hear that. The crowd did a phenomenal job in terms of supporting the team, as well as trying to distract and disturb the team as much as possible. Man City in this case. Amazing how Man City were just touching, just like nothing. They wouldn't lose the ball, and it was making me nervous. It was deafening how well that they were playing. On top of the boos and the whistle, it was deafening. Their football spoke volumes of how well they play and how well composed and poised they are as a team. Beautiful for Man City. You gotta. I mean, hats off to that. That's impressive. That's very impressive. So the first few warnings for Liverpool were the play from Diaz. Diaz was a beast. Diaz, there's so much to say about Diaz. That cross over to Diaz. That cross from Diaz over to Nunez. And it was a little bit far back, so he ended up heading the ball, but it went nowhere. And Bradley with a little piece of skill on Aki, and the center for Nunez that barely almost got there. And the beautiful team effort from everybody that ended up seeing Nunez offside. And I'm emphasizing on Nunez being offside because this man was offside so many times. Dude, just take a quick glance back. to see where you're at. Check out the line. Try to be behind the line. And he wasn't doing that. He was offside so many times in that first half that it was starting to get on my nerves. Like I said, just look back. Just look at where you're at. Be aware of where you're at. Try to be within that line. And beautiful combination. Too bad it was an offside. But Liverpool were getting close. And they started again. They started to get into their game. They started to play their football and to start looking like they were dominating. Start looking like they were playing at home, for crying out loud. And that's when you saw the plays coming in, the threats coming in with Elliott to Soboslai with the header. That could have been easily been a goal. Come on, that could have easily been a goal. Bradley again with the inexperience, but the effort's there and close to being able to score. There was a pass by, I think it was maybe Soboslai or McAllister. And instead of centering it first touch, he ended up controlling the ball the first touch, but then the angle just completely closed and there was nothing. Nothing came out of that play. So again, just polishing up his skills, this is something that he'll learn in time. I have faith in that. No qualms there for my part. And then Diaz started with his fiasco. Despite the four clear chances in my opinion that he had, Diaz played a hell of a game. He was the most dangerous, threatening player for Liverpool. He was sending major warning signs. I think I saw somebody post on social media that he was toying to that effect with Kyle Walker. No, not at all. Kyle Walker had him. He also had him. Both of them had him. I think more so Kyle Walker than Diaz. But Diaz with it was a Soboslai pass and cutting in from the right side, from the left side, cutting in right. And was able to somehow, with a little bit of a scramble there with Rodrigo. Plain as day, so much space. He wasn't as sharp as he usually is. That needed to be a goal. And what an amazing goal that would have been. What an amazing goal that would have been, that shot. And he knows it. That was the first warning sign. That was the first mess up from Diaz's night. Had he scored that goal, he would have scored subsequent goals. With the opportunities that he had afterwards, especially the Salah, that Salah goal was a goal. I don't know how it wasn't a goal. It was a goal all day long. That was a goal. Beautiful setup. And you're carrying the ball. I mean, he had so much time there. He could have called his dad that was in the stands and tell him, hey, make sure when I get off after this game, the sancocho is ready. If you don't know what that is, that's a Colombian dish. So much time. And it just was unlike him. That's unlike him. That's what I said. Like, he summoned up his inner Nunez. That needed to be a goal all day. That needed to be a goal. And then the Nunez feeding him the ball. The first one, just an uncomfortable 180 position that he actually somehow managed to get through to Diaz, and Diaz with the bad touch, just getting away from him. Again, who is this player? That wasn't Diaz. That's not the Diaz I remember from the Copa America. What was it, 2021? The one that Messi won. I can't remember what it was. And then the nutmeg pass from Diaz also. I mean, Kyle Walker got there in time, but that's not like Diaz. Diaz is actually really good at getting in front of you if you're a defender and surprising you and you have no idea. You thought you were going to get there first. Diaz is the one that gets there first. And in this case, it was Kyle Walker that surprised him and poked the ball out. It was the confidence. At that point, it was just like psychologically he wasn't there. He was defeated. But he kept going. He kept hustling. He kept running. He kept going after every ball. Unbelievable performance in terms of work ethic for Diaz. So really well. I mean, I commend him. At the same time, he screwed it up, man. This was on him. I'm sorry, but this was on Diaz. He flopped. In a way, he flopped. And like I was saying before, like Man City had their chances, not only in the beginning where they could have pretty much opened the scoreline with 1-2-0 in the first half. The second half towards the end, Foden awful clearance. I don't know what Keller was trying to do, but ends up hitting Foden, hits the crossbar. that would have been an end to all the efforts of Liverpool. And you've seen that happen so many times. That could have spoiled everything, all the work ethic that Liverpool ended up employing in this match. Doku also, the Doku cross shot to the second post. That could have been a wrap-up and whole Anfield would have been quiet. And that's just the way football is. Although Liverpool played well, you can say they had a better match. They looked better on the ball than Man City. They could have easily have lost this match as well. And that's what pisses me off, because by a hair, by a small margin, did they actually tie this game. Because they played phenomenal, but those opportunities should have gone in. Diaz royally screwed up. I'm not saying he played bad. I thought he had a really good game, but he screwed up. Those goals, man. The four goals that should have gone in for Diaz. Now, there's a lot of talk about the Doku high kick on McAllister. I've seen penalties being given for something like that. That's very commonplace in the EPL or in other leagues. But I don't focus too much on that. I don't know. It should have been. I could see it being called a penalty. I could see that happening. The other one that I have a big issue with, because it reminds me of the Van Dijk goal against Chelsea and the Endo block on Colwill, that to me was pretty much the same thing, was the goal, the Stones goal. That should have been disallowed as well, because Aki is pushing McAllister. You can see he's pushing him away, and he's interfering to play for him to get there, because McAllister was going to get to the first post. He was going to get to the first post. Yes, he had enough time. He was going to get to the first post, and Aki's pushing him a la NBA, just like Endo was pushing him NBA style. That to me should have been disallowed. Now, am I raging about that, fuming about that? No, because what I am fuming and raging about instead is the 3-4 opportunities that Diaz had. I'm focusing on that. I'm not trying to fall on that, the high kick should have been a penalty. The goal, like I said, should have been disallowed. I think that goal should have been disallowed. But I'm not raging about it, because there are just too many other obvious opportunities that Liverpool had that they should have won the game with. They should have won the game with those 3-4 opportunities that Diaz ended up missing. So I'm not too focused on the disallowed goal, in my opinion, the Stones goal, or the high kick from Doku. No. Even though I could see both of them being, one disallowed and the other one being a penalty. So overall, really good match. Really, really good match. I had so much fun watching this match. I was so amped up. I was so excited, and I just absolutely loved it. And like I said, I could watch this game over. I could watch it one more time. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.